Hi guys, how are you all doing? I just thought I'd do a little video this morning because, I don't know, just stuff on my chest. We went for a little walk this morning in one of my favourite spots, and we were barely 5 minutes in, and this couple came up to us, sort of late, middle-aged, whatever, dog. You got a permit? Have you got a permit? So I said, no, we left it in the car. Well, you have to show your permit in order to be here. Sorry about all the noise, by the way. This is really unusual for this place. For some reason, I arrive and all of a sudden it starts. It's literally one of these. This is it now. This is it. It's like this world, this reality has decided to agitate the fuck out of you, really, out of all of us soul travelers. That's what I feel. I mean, these people, literally, it's like they come out of nowhere. Never seen them before. I've been to this place for a walk. I don't know for how long. Many years. Never seen them. There's a big sign on the gate saying you need a permit, but you know what the fuck? I don't do permits. I feel that I am perfectly allowed to go anywhere. Oh, you are fucking kidding me! Fuck off! Oh. This is it. This is it. People, this is how it works now, isn't it? I know what it is. I mean, anyway, these people, oh, you need to have a permit. I said, I left it in the car. Oh, you have to have it with you. I said, oh, okay then. You know, and the woman sort of had a smile on her face and she didn't seem quite too bad. She said, oh, it's a nice day today. I went, yeah, it's a nice day. She said, you know, you could just take a picture of the permit on your phone and then you can show us that way. And I'm like I said to her, I said, look, love, when I go into nature, I don't take my phone. Like, yeah, in fact, I never ever use my mobile phone. I hardly ever use it at all. I keep it switched off most of the time. And she was like, oh, yeah, I get that. And the guy just, I could tell he was getting more and more, irate, you know. It's like, how dare you have a pleasant conversation with my fellow mundane reality reinforcement officer, you know. And he said, you need to have your permit with you. I went, all right, see Kyle. And then walked off. They always have the same dogs, yeah. They always have golden retrievers or Labradors or Springer Spaniels. I've noticed this. These organic portals, Hilux, they always have the same sort of dogs, and they simply cannot stomach a soul traveller because we are so idiosyncratic, we are unpredictable, we don't run on a script, do we? We don't run on a script, so thank you for shutting the fuck up. Stay that way. Anyway, you know, we don't run on a script, so we're unpredictable, you know. We don't fit in with their box-like, yeah, whatever, you know. But it fucked me off in a big way. It really did, because I happen to really like that place. I love it there. So I've decided I'm not going to go there on the weekends anymore. I've noticed this. I mean, I know a lot of you have noticed this as well. The Green Wizard talked about it. Where do all these people come from? All these empty people everywhere. People that love. That the corporate people, the NPCs, Hilux, organic portals, whatever they are, fillers, Star Gods calls them fillers. You could say that corporate people Maybe they're created by the corporations. I don't know. They always have babies as well. They breed like rabbits. And they're everywhere. You know, it's like a hostile takeover. It's as if reality now, in direct response to our shadow no longer being on the subconscious level, but through the inner work that we have done, our shadow is now right here, as in the elephant is now in the living room, it's no longer in the basement, the elephant is in the living room. The dark generator, which is that dark, nefarious, psychic attack we are under in this realm from day fucking one, probably even in the womb, that all our ancestors have been under as well, so we inherit it that way. That's what is the shadow. It's all trauma, you see, we're traumatized from day one, severely so. So we become completely fragmented within ourselves. Then I'm just surrounded by people that they don't get it, you know, and I find being on Facebook increasingly annoying as well. You just don't know who people or what people are. You're there and you're messaging back and forth with somebody that you presume to be a souled being. But you don't really know anything about that person. They could tell you anything. They could say, oh, this is my life and this is what I've been through, and it could all be a pack of lies, and they could just be a narcissist making it all up as they go along and playing this game, this elaborate charade. It's just incredible, people. You know, and I know a lot of you out there feel that way. It's like, wow, I just want to be able to sit down with a group of real soul travelers and just get real with each other and just put all our cards on the table and say, this is how I really, really feel. This is what's been going on. It's really, really hard, because every time you do tell somebody how you feel, this is how I'm feeling, people go into, oh, let's get this fixed then mode, instead of just listening to you and saying, you know what, yeah, I get what you're on about, man, I get that. Or if you don't get it, I'm not there yet. I haven't experienced that yet. Because we're all on different levels, you know. But when you've gone in as deep as I have, and I don't say this arrogantly, but I'm just being real and I'm being honest, I have really done the work. I'm that sort of person. I'm extremely determined. I'm a very determined sort of person. I go where angels fear to tread within my own psyche. I will face my demons, because I've always known that it's the only way. It's the only way. So I've done that. Many years ago, I went to counselling, and the way the counsellor dealt with me, I thought, right, I can adopt that and do that to myself, and that is what led me on my inward journey, basically. But I see a lot of people not doing that at all. And so they will always be prey to the dark generator. They'll never be aware of what the dark generator is, how it works, how it insidiously, psychically influences us, how our choices, our beliefs, our actions are directly influenced by the dark generator. How we treat other people like shit and treat ourselves like shit as well, usually, you know, like works that way. Based on the dark generator, you know. You think people are your friends when they're the enemy. You think people that are the enemy are actually your friends. People that will tell you the truth about something, you don't want to hear it, they're the enemy. But they could be your friend because they're telling you the truth. And the truth is always a good thing, even if it hurts. You know? Sorry guys, I'm rambling on a bit, but these fucking permit people. Everywhere you go now, it's corporate, you know, and this whole lockdown thing, one of its intended purposes is to get rid of any kind of individually styled business or concern, if you know what I mean. I saw this happen throughout the 90s, where corporations just took over more and more and more, because they don't want this world to be an individualized, creative, colorful, alive place. They don't want it to be that way. They want it to be dead. It's like everything you buy now is bad quality. It's all made in China. It's all really bad quality. It's made by people who are having their kidneys harvested, you know. They're in these prison facilities in China. Nobody really knows what goes on there, but I can imagine that it's highly evil and satanic in any imaginable way. They're not communists in China, you know. There's something else altogether. It's the blueprint, ultimately, for what the evil ones want. And I'm not saying that's going to happen. It will happen somewhere, because there are so many people that seem to want to live in that sort of world. You know, the permit people this morning want to live in that sort of world, especially him. You could tell he really relished laying down the law and accosting me, enjoying a bit of sun and the sound of the birds on the water, accosting me and just lowering my frequency, you know, lowering my energy. And that is really what the dark generator is. It tells you that you need to be afraid and that you can't be optimistic, because something bad will happen. Yeah. It's like, oh, don't you dare be optimistic, because you're being cocky, and I'll slap you down for that. It doesn't speak to us in words, you know, the dark generator. It's a subtle, energetic thing. It's a bit like, you know, like a broadcast, you know, like in Rwanda before the genocide. There was a radio broadcast which went on for weeks. Cockroaches, kill them, you know. It's a bit like that, but without the words. And it makes people think bad things and do bad things. It makes people fear. It makes people hate themselves. It makes me want to go over there and kick some serious ass with regards to those assholes making all this noise. You know, it has usurped parts of our consciousness, and it is what has turned everything to shit here. And because we are working on our consciousness, clear up here, because Pandora's box has been opened. That is what it's all about, you know. Awakening is about Pandora's box opening, so that we can see what is in it, and so that we can alchemize all of that. And so we have to work through it all. We have to feel it. All of it has to be felt. And there's some really hard emotions, hard energies to digest, like self-hate, self-attack, self-sabotage, feeling utterly revulsed by your own body, by how it's decaying, revulsed by the past. Everything around us feels so... I can't even think of a word for it. I could say tainted, but that's too nice a word for it. Everything is poisoned. Everything is disintegrating. And it's as a direct result, I believe, of the great clear-up of consciousness. Because as long as it sits in the subconscious, as long as people are not really aware of it, then all that evil, yes, it operates in the world, but it remains hidden. People are not aware of it. Everything just kind of, you know, like in the 80s, a bit like that. No, 90s even. But all hell's broken loose because Pandora's box has been opened, you know. And people are making their choices. Some people are choosing to believe the dark generator and to And this is one thing that I have seen very, very, very strongly, that I've experienced very strongly. There is a very strong desire in the dark generator, as it were. It really wants us to give in to hatred, vengeance, violence, all of that. That's what it really wants. It seems to want that very, very much. And if it can't have that, then it wants us to destroy ourselves, commit suicide or something or other. That seems to be what's going on at the moment. And so it does a lot of what I call baiting. So there's NPCs everywhere. Again, I'm using that word. I said I wasn't going to use it, but I use it because I just think it's irrelevant. You all know what I mean, so it's like, oh man, go away, fuck off. People, it's baiting us all day, every day now, people. It's, we're no longer blind. So, you're watching a television series, you see all the mind manipulation. You go out and you see that people, no, it's all wrong. Everything is horribly, horribly wrong. And you have two choices to make every moment of every day, and it's exhausting. And it's not just because you choose light doesn't necessarily mean you're going to start feeling better straight away either, because it doesn't work that way. Because there are times where we have to face the darkest parts of our being. I had a day like that yesterday. It was dire, really, really, really heavy. But we each do this in our own way. And here's another thing, another element that I find extremely unhelpful and that annoys the fuck out of me, but we all do it, I suppose, more or less, is in telling people how to do shadow work. It's like, it's called shadow work, as if, I don't even call it that, because for me it's perennial. It is what awakening is. Right, through the layers, until you see more and more and more what this is, what's really going on here, what consciousness is all about. As you go through the layers, as you purge and heal and alchemize, and you can call it whatever you like and use whatever words you like, but there's no way to put it into words. You gain more and more and more perspective on what is really going on. And you also, like I've been doing this for years now, I have learned, I know that this works. I know what works for me. I know what's good for me and what's right for me. I also know what isn't good for me and what isn't right for me. And I kind of take exception to people continually wanting to tell me how to do my inner work. But of course I know what that is. It's like they don't trust themselves. And so they feel the need to project that onto me. It's like, no, you need to do this and you need to do that. And if you don't do it like that, then it's not going to work. And it's like, well, actually, I've been doing this for many years. I know where I was at 5 years ago, 6 years ago. I know where I was at 5 weeks ago. And I know that I'm making a shitload of progress all the time. I know exactly what is going on more and more. I understand the intricacies of this. I may not be able to put it into words, but believe me, I know what I'm doing, or rather my higher self, my true self knows what it's doing. I'm not telling you what you should be doing, because I trust that one way or another, you too, your true self knows what it's doing. So you just leave me to my inner work, and I will leave you to your inner work. And as long as we can respect each other's boundaries that way, we'll get along just fine. But people have major issues with that. And this is where it gets very, very hard. It's a type of parasitism, actually. I think we all get taught to do it. We're always on the lookout to correct other people and tell other people how they should live how they should live their lives. This is something that we learn to do. Our parents do it. And so we do it without, and I do it as well. I know there have been times where I do it as well. And I'll become immediately, tend to become aware of it. And it's all right, I've got to stop, right. And I'll apologize, because other people's journeys are none of my business. But it's something, you know, it's a fake persona type of thing. Well, I'm gonna, you know, tell you how you should be conducting your consciousness clear up operation, and it makes me feel so much better telling you what to do. Just like this guy telling me that I should have a permit. He clearly really got off on that. I mean, very narky and a typical parasite consciousness. And we all have that in us. There's no doubt about that whatsoever. We need to become aware of that. We need to start focusing completely on our own inner journey to learn to trust that little by little, and to leave other people to their own journeys. This is, you know, this is the way, because what will work for one person and how they verbalize it and express it is very different from what will work for another person and how they verbalize and express it. We're not all in the same dimension, timeline. We don't all come here for the same reason either. And we're not all going to the same place, people. So one size does not fit all. But you know, like, yeah, I do this, and I know it's because I'm still doubtful of my own journey. I still fear that it's all going to go horribly wrong, because the dark generator is at me every fucking day telling me exactly that. Oh man, honestly, I just do not see the point why you would just hang around and rev your engines. The Green Visit will resonate with this in a big way. It's unbelievable, man. They weren't there when I got here. Like, what is that about? Why would you want to do that? Oh, it's such fun. It's such fun to rev an engine for hours on end. It's just baiting, guys. Really it is. And we have this choice to make. Do we give in to the hatred and the vengeance and the I want to destroy them. I want to, you know, you want vengeance. You want to see these fuckers brought low, don't you? Here, there they go. It's like, what is the point? You know, because I know what it looks like and I know what it feels like. It's like they always seem to win, don't they? They always seem to win, these low life, empty vessels. You know, they love all the corporate shit. You know, there's these people, they literally go out of their way to get hold of a cup of Costa coffee. Costa is this corporation in this country, and they do the fucking worst coffee, man. It's absolute fucking dross. Oh, you know, they shouldn't be here, man. This is like a nature reserve. They shouldn't even be here. This is really bad for animals, and I hate this type of shit. And they love there. It's like the Green Wizard, you know, the thing about machines. There's a really good video that he did. It's true. They love gadgets. They love machines. They love all the empty, meaningless shit. Everything. If it's made in China, they'll want it. If it's tasteless dross, they'll want it. They'll go out their way for it. They love it. That's why all these people are coming down like a fucking sledgehammer on small business owners who choose to stay open defiantly. They come down on them like a ton of bricks and give them a shitload of grief. right? But when the big corporations do exactly the same thing, staying open during a lockdown, right? They don't get fined by the fucking coppers, and these minions of darkness are perfectly okay. Oh yeah, because they love all the corporations, they love all that. See, I sit here and I'm just hoping they have a really serious accident or something and break their neck. And I know that I shouldn't think that way, but I just do. It's incredibly... It's a challenge of epic proportions to live now, exist now, in this realm. To be surrounded by the utter putrid evil that has insinuated itself here. To see the destruction of nature, all the building going on everywhere. All the weird kind of like new laws and regulations and all these housing developments, building these weird looking boxy cardboard looking houses that are really bad quality, that all these NPCs just love to buy. They seem to love that. They don't have any gardens, there's no trees, there's nothing, and they love it all, they love it. And yet I feel that all of it is designed to trigger the fuck out of us, to bait the fuck out of us. I really do. And I think that at first glance it's like, well, that's a bad thing. But actually I don't think it is. It brings up all that trauma, all that feeling of I'm always with my back against the wall and evil always wins. That is the nucleus of it, you see, that is it. That's it. That's where all that self-hate comes from, because if that is what we are, you're going to hate that. And that is the nucleus of it. That is what needs to be directly dissolved and healed and alchemized now. And we cannot do that. It's not something you can fix. Yeah? Something magical has to happen in that part of our being. And we cannot make that happen, but our true self knows exactly what to do. That I do feel. Our true self knows exactly what to do. This entire thing, this entire experience, it will work itself out. I know it's chaos, I know that much. Absolute fucking chaos, yeah. Yeah, expression of darkness, wow. And it does bring up all those demons right out of the Pandora's box that is our shadow. All of that. It brings it right up. It has to be brought up. It cannot be left in the box. It has to be brought up. It has to be seen. It has to be acknowledged. It has to be understood. Right? Only we can validate it as well, Don't expect the external to give you any validation for what is coming up from within you. Don't, because you're not going to get it. They won't understand. For them, if they were real people, it's completely repressed, out of sight, in their subconscious. They have no idea it's even there. They're just there they're mundane reality enforcement officers. They're just there to make you think everything is fine and you're just getting it wrong, otherwise you'd be feeling happy. Well, bullshit. But this is the end of days. I'm completely and utterly convinced of it. And dark as it may seem, and indeed it is fucking dark, but it's there to trigger, to grab hold of those dark aspects, the self-hate and that passive aggression, that belief that evil always wins. See, the dark generator latches onto our shadow. It uses our shadow against us. It wants us to hate ourselves. It wants us to sabotage ourselves. It wants us to stay trapped in the Pandora's box. It just wants that. You see. But it is entirely possible for us to choose to let go. Like, I felt vengeful toward that arsehole this morning and wished him harm. And then I realized how choosing that folds us in and traps us. It traps us. So if we want to heal, we need to release ourselves from the vengeance trap. It is a trap, people. It's not going to work. It looks really tempting. It's like, oh yeah, if I give in to that hate and that vengeance, and I'm going to fuck you over, and I'm going to get you, and I'm going to make you pay for what you did to me, and all of this. You know what I mean. You know what it feels like. You go down that road, and you will find out it will destroy you. It will rot you. It will destroy you. And it is giving into the darkness. And it actually comes from a place of feeling completely powerless and ultimately completely destroyed and used and abused by evil. Feeling powerless and wanting vengeance, and at the same time feeling like, but you're never gonna get it because evil always wins. It's a very perverse, insane part of us, you know. And it's a trap, and you know, if you choose it, you'll just not serve yourself at all. It will really fuck you up in a big way, in a really big way. It really, really will. I know from experience. The only way is to let it go, is to keep releasing, and to choose that higher being of love, of self-love. And when it comes to these intense energies of anti-self, self-hate, of, oh, my body, I can't stand to be in my body, I hate myself, I'm disgusting, this body's falling apart, this, yuck. And there are so many nuances to that as well, wow. And that is also something we cannot fix or make go away. It's incredibly uncomfortable, and all you can do is bear with it. And know and understand why we feel that way about ourselves, about our bodies. Because it is true. This is a charnel house realm. Everything dies, everything decays, and it isn't right. It isn't. It's wrong. It's evil. So again, it's in understanding why it's there. All these different aspects of us, all of it now is being triggered. It's all coming up. One thing, all at once. It's incredible. It's overwhelming. It's chaos. But there's always a light. It's always there. Sometimes only a tiny bit. Sometimes more of it. You know, I've got that dentist appointment tomorrow, so I hope you all sent me a little prayer for that. I'd be much obliged. You know, so that's been a major key, bringing up loads of stuff for me, loads of stuff. And it's interesting because I got a message, and it said, do not be afraid. This is the key. 33. And I, you know, whenever I see 33, I know it's meant for me. It's, you know, it's. And my intuition keeps telling me it's going to be okay. And then the other side's going, no, you can't trust your intuition because it's not going to work out. And if you trust your intuition, then something bad will happen. You mustn't tempt fate. You know, all these sayings that you hear. Oh, life's hard and then you die. Oh, you'd better not tempt fate. Oh, better expect the worst, and then you won't be disappointed. That's how mass consciousness operates, people. That's what it's what everybody around you thinks. They think that way. And all the while, they're pretending to be happy. They're seriously all fucked up, and you know it. But you're the one facing your Pandora's box. They, you know. Be aware, people. Question everything. Come on. When you're on Facebook and you come across these Facebook memes that seem on the face of it so nice and wholesome, think about it. Don't just, oh yeah, isn't that true? Analyze and think. Use your brain. Think about shit. Listen to and watch what you're thinking. Watch what you're feeling. Pay attention to yourself. Go within. You know, because you can choose the darkness, you can choose the violence, you can choose the hate and the vengeance, but you're choosing that which will destroy you. Or you can choose to release, to let go. You can choose self-forgiveness, to finally release yourself from all these dark generator inspired guilt programs. So you did this back then and you said that and you know, no, keep forgiving yourself. Choose light in whichever way. Choose in that moment self-forgiveness. Choose in that moment to say, you know what, I'm absolutely terrified about this impending thing or that impending thing, but you know what, I'm going to love myself. I'm going to trust that this is somehow going to work out. It's going to be alright. Okay. It's going to be okay. I'm not going to punish myself and beat myself up. It's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. Don't need to do that, people. I know it's overwhelming. I know there's so much going on. There's all the nuances. Like I said it before, it's as if all the evil beasties have come out of Pandora's box and are right now in your face. And it's really, really, really tough. There's all these people that we thought were souls people, good people, and they turn out not to be anything of the kind. You know. And that is a lesson as well in don't just dive in. Don't just take everything at face value. Don't do that. What's your gut instinct tell you about this person? Whether you know them in real life or whether you know them online. What does your instinct tells you? If it feels wrong, it probably is. You know. And let each other be. Let each other be. Respect each other's boundaries and each other's path, which is very highly individual. Highly individual. What works for you will not work for somebody else. Different things for different people. Soul travelers are highly individuated. I know this for a fact. We are highly individuated. Yes, there are commonalities, obviously. There are certain things that we know, like what I've just talked about. If you choose hate, vengeance, conflict, I'm going to get at them and destroy them sort of thing, that is not going to do you any good. But mind you, then again, some people may have to have that experience before they can move on. They need to experience that to work out, oh, this doesn't actually work and it really fucks me up. So I'm going to leave that behind now. You know? I don't know, people. I mean, I'm no teacher or anything like that. You know, I just talk about the few things that I've learned. And, you know, one of the things I've learned is that I know what works for me. I know what works for me. But what works for me won't necessarily work for somebody else. I know that it's cataclysmic now. I do know that. I know it is. And I know that we're now at a point where none of it can really be, we can't put it into words. Which in a sense makes for isolation, because if you can't really talk to somebody else about it in depth and explain exactly what you're going through, then you are in essence effectively going through it on your own. And I think that's about right, actually. Because it is that thing again. It is your journey, it's your path. Only you can walk it. I have found that to be so. And we can, you know, because we are wise enough, strong enough and resilient enough for this. I don't think it will destroy us, but the dark generator will tell you every day that it will destroy you. It's a pack of lies, people. It's not who we are. It's not what we are at all. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Whatever the dark generator tells you, you are the opposite. We are the opposite. Yeah. See? Silence. Perfect. Anyway, I call it a day there, I think. You know, people, choose the light side, alright? Choose the light side. If you feel hate, vengeance, if you feel powerless and that you're back against the wall, if you feel self-hate and revulsion, if you feel fear and terrible depression and anxiety, then you know, you're healing. Believe me, you're far better off than the people who are being happy. You're doing the work, that's why you're feeling all these things, you see. Try and remind yourself of that. Everything is going to be alright, people. It really is, you know. Just keep at it, keep at it. God, I'm back again. Right.